people who used to come all the way to Kaduna, collect, and then go back. And that's how the cycle went. In protest as to why did you call that name, they couldn't bear it anymore and felt by 2014 the best thing was to go and attempt. It failed. We're lucky. They got Jonathan scared. He thought that, oh, if they kill this man, Nigeria will burn. They provided him with additional cars, more money, and it was all about money. It was all about collecting money. The truth is that somebody had gone to North Africa, negotiated with Gaddafi. Gaddafi, who is was an international terrorist, all over the world, from the far west to the far east, said, I will help you, like I've been doing. I heard there are some young men. There are plans to kill Gaddafi, not in the palace coup, but through uprising. If it fails and you become president, I will retire to your country if you become president. If it doesn't fail, right now, he wanted to create a buffer. So he sent Saif al-Islam, go on YouTube and find out, to Niger with money, cash, millions of dollars in his boots, to recruit Tuaregs to go and fight in Libya. Sent his former general to Mali, why you still have insecurity in Mali. In Nigeria, they give crazy amount of money to that gentleman. Go and help these people with the intention of bringing them to fight in Libya. When Gaddafi died, they sat on the money. They kept on with the recurrent until after mentioning the name, and then they stopped sending the money. They became, now all these things are linked. They wanted Nigeria to burn if Buhari did not become president in 2015. I contested alongside Buhari for Senate. I contested for Senate in 2011. You have it on YouTube. He said, blood, soaked in blood, the baboon and ever since he made that comment, I refused to go and campaign with Buhari. Refused completely. It didn't matter if I lost the Senate seat. I won it eventually. Insecurity for a former president to say, you soak in blood. And then there was, Kaduna is my state. There was serious violence in Kaduna. Many houses were burnt. Emir's houses in Ongwansariki, Demna Abba had their houses burnt and all that, simply because of a statement. They went and brought in people from those neighboring places in readiness to remove Jonathan by all means. So the desperation of people to get Jonathan out of power has built up and added to what we call insecurity in Nigeria today.
So you're inferring that all what we have seen over the last few years as insecurity is orchestrated?
Of course.
And it's political?
Of course. Last year around this time.
This narrative.
Last year around this time. Whatever I tell you, I'll try to give you evidence. Last year around this time, we were just negotiating the release of our own nephew. And when he came out, what he said is not much different from what Nasiru El-Rufai is saying. They complained that, and this young man is alive. He could come here tomorrow and you interview him. He's alive now in Zaria. He's alive. That, look, they're not making much money relying on these handouts from government. Each time they go out to operate, they make more money, like he does in the hand. We kept negotiating. He's alive and he can come to this and sit with you, Shehu Akimbaloye, and you interview him. This is a fact. But my grudge with Nasiru's statements is that he was part and parcel of APC from 2013. Like he told you, he was one of the architects of it all. All of a sudden, to come and absolve himself and call others. No. Nasiru is part and parcel of all that has been going on. We suffered, we are victims of Nasiru's misrule in Zaria. Go back December 2015, when a war was supposed to have been won in the Northeast. What business what military and strategic business did an army chief have to come to Zaria for a convocation, not of NDA, graduation of recruits, privates, choosing to follow the route where the Shiites were holding. All these things were orchestrated. They knew the exact hour, the exact minute that he was coming to pass, because they had the technology. And 800 people were killed because they wanted to raise down the temple that was built. These things were carefully doctored and orchestrated.
These are heavy allegations that you are making, and which one
And
one will imagine someone of your status in the society.
Yeah.
Why are you just saying this? Why are you saying this? Does it amount to a political gimmick, or
no.
What exactly are you up to with this?
Sharon, I've been saying it. I said it in your own program. I mentioned the link about North Africa. In your own program, go back and check. Play the archives and see. Wherever I spoke, I linked electoral fraud with insecurity, corruption and insecurity. I have always done this.
I'm worried, actually, with some of the things that you are saying. But what is at the heart of all of this is that people are being killed. And the government is saying innocent soldiers are also losing, and security operatives are losing their lives. The question is, where do we go from here? How do we stop this cycle? If you say they are political in nature, for the sake of God, how do we stop this cycle of killings?
Only when you have the right leaders. You can only have the right leaders when you have them truly elected. So long as people will steal an election, so long as people will capture a nation, you will never have security. Most important, most drastic, most horrific is that when that group of people use the tools of insecurity like we have seen in 2015, and it worked, and they achieved what they wanted. And again, they use now, for example, the tools of religion, ethnicity, division within political parties, heavy use of money, security, constitutional abuses and breaches. The law means nothing. It is just what one individual decides, irrespective of what the law says. You have to go and change the law to what suits that individual. There cannot be security. Not just peace, there cannot be security. Now let's go back. The purpose of being together in a nation is that you must be secured by whoever is leading you. If you're not secured, you're living in hell. You're not in a nation. Like we're almost there now. If that is the purpose, and you have someone who served as 8 years as a governor in one of the federating units, to come and say that it's a policy of the government to reward, because pay is reward, to reward terrorists and criminals. And the history of these people who have been in power, including the governor who said it, is that it is consistent with what he claims now to be doing. And that government is still ongoing. They still have another 2 years to go. We, the ordinary citizens, have no option. The whole world will take it that, yes, the Uncle Tinubu government, so-called federal government of Nigeria, has a policy of paying bandits and terrorists. The history I narrated to you of collecting donations from all over the world by somebody who specialized in collecting donations, by somebody whose entire political game, presidential contest, was because there was no way to sustain the ecosystem around him. They have to contest elections every 4 years. So even after 2011, they must contest elections, especially with the kind of money that people of like the same El-Rufai was bringing to contest. There can be no security for us ordinary citizens of Nigeria so long as you have electoral heist, underwritten, guaranteed by the kind of money and fraud that is taking place now. One single contract of 15 trillion naira extra, if I say judiciously, extra legally awarded. You cannot, you and I, ordinary citizens, will continue to live in a country that is close to hell, because it is close to hell. Last year, our family got together and rescued one of our nephews. Every day, you like to ask for evidence. The evidence is with you people in the every day. Villages and villagers are sacked from their villages, killed, carted away. Human beings are traded on the commodity like bags of rice that we like talking about. The standard price of human life now is out there. And you have a so-called government that are basking in the fact that they stole 2023 elections, and again that no one can stop them from taking 2027 again. Before then, they go and remove the Northeast and the Northwest from the Federation and allow the other units to go on their own. I will come back to that in some other setting. There is no peace, there is no security for us living in close to hell. So long as these people are worshipped, continue to be worshipped by sycophants, telling them what they are doing is right, they are buying politicians who are jumping ship to join APC and give them the falsehood that they are doing well. There will be no security in it. Will continue to fail. Right. They are getting closer to Abuja. They are getting closer and closer and closer to Abuja. This insecurity we're talking about. So long as the president the so-called president is aloof with the realities on ground and has a so-called vice president who has been reduced to just going for wedding ceremonies, burial ceremonies, in the situation that Nigeria is, it is easier for the federal government of Nigeria now to send a whole vice president to go for condolence visits and wedding ceremonies than when 200 people are killed in the villages in Katsina. Yes. 52 were killed 2 days ago. He didn't go.
Yeah. But we're totally out of time because we're totally out of time, Senator. Yes. But thank you so much indeed for your time. I appreciate it.
Yeah, sure. This program is over. I have not been able to say 10% of what I wanted to say, but it is true what Malam Nasir said, that there appears to be a national policy. However, he cannot run away because he's part of it. Sorry.
Now, guys, I have to apologize. I don't know what happened though. This one was not a case of battery running out or anything. The device just shut down on its own. I'm sorry about that. Apologies once again to those of you who were surprised and wasn't sure what was happening, maybe thinking it was from your end. So yeah, I had to come back so we can wrap this up nice and neatly with a bow. Now, I'm going to read to you the UAE political analyst. His name is Ahmed Alameri, warns of systematic ethnic religious violence against peaceful Nigerian Christians. Oh my God. Oh boy, did he hurt the terrorist hearts. Let me read it for you guys. This is interesting. I actually just saw this. I didn't see it before. So let me start. So apparently he had posted earlier on in the day today. He said Nigeria is enduring a campaign of ethnic and religious cleansing. Christian families are being slaughtered in their homes, churches are reduced to ashes, and children are executed for their prayers. The attackers act with conviction born from an ideology that spreads through borders, linking groups like Boko Haram to the same Islamist current that once inspired the doctrines of the Muslim Brotherhood. It's an ideology that hides behind faith while preaching domination and erasure. The killings are methodical. The targets are chosen.
Villages vanish under the same banner of fanaticism that have stained other regions in fire. Boko Haram's leaders have long echoed the same language of religious conquest that drives the Muslim Brotherhood's global network, replacing worship with warfare and unity with fear. The silence of the world gives strength to these forces that feed on indifference and thrive in chaos. The Christians of Nigeria are people of peace. They build, they teach, they farm, they worship. Their resilience stands against the destruction that seeks to silence them. Each burnt church speaks of courage. Each massacre reveals the world's failure to protect the innocent. The defense of Nigeria's Christians is the defense of human dignity itself. Their right to live in peace is justice in its purest form. Every leader, every nation, and every conscience must rise before another generation's blood darkens the soil of a land that once prayed in harmony. Oh my God. Hey! Shame on the Nigerian churches and GOs. This is a man from the UAE. Now Muslim man, I write this one. Come and hear terrorists crying in the comment section. Let me read one of the famous response of one. Hey! Oh, Coco Bioko. I'm sure you guys know who Bashir is. I'm sure you know. Let me read Bashir's response. Bashir says, no, hold on 1 second. Where is it? Where did I find it? Where is it? Oh, Bashir want cry. Yeah? Bashir want to cry. I say, This is interesting. I didn't know. He say, let me go here. He says, for two reasons, I'm not surprised by this, your take. First, everyone who wants to trend on this platform, imagine, now wetin they tell UAE political analysts be this so. First, the people when give them the religion, when carry the religion, can't give them. First, everyone who wants to trend on this platform these days knows that the easiest way is to engage Nigerians. It is predictable and has become a cheap strategy for relevance. Secondly, it has become clearer where this paid propaganda is coming from, and there is huge money attached to it. It is no secret anymore that some people are being paid handsomely per post to attack Nigeria's image and destabilize public perception. If not, I would have expected you, as a supposed global political analyst, to first analyze the coordinated malign campaign against my country before jumping into it blindly and unquestioningly. Anyway, as we have told those who joined the campaign before you, that Nigeria has its challenges like every other nation, but deliberately spreading lies about genocide and persecution is irresponsible and part of a larger political manipulation. We refuse to be used as scapegoats by Zionists trying to cover up their own documented crimes and atrocities, especially in Gaza, Palestine, and the Middle East, by protecting false victimhood narratives elsewhere. So, Ahmad, if your goal was to join that chorus for clicks or compensation, you are very late to the party. The world already knows what is going on, and Nigerians are not fooled. I don't know how many of them they refer to. We see through this game, and we will continue to defend our country's unity, truth, and dignity, and against every form of external deception. Excuse me, guys. Bashir responded to him. Bashir says, your attempt to gaslight and weaponize accusation against anyone who speaks the truth is a disgrace. Oh my God, it's gonna be hot. Nigeria is not a trending hashtag to be bought and sold. Entire communities are being burnt, families murdered, churches razed, and children slaughtered for praying. These are documented crimes that demand condemnation and action, not smears aimed at the messenger. Do not hide behind cynical claims of paid campaigns. If you have evidence of organized disinformation, present it now. If you do not, stop inventing conspiracies to silence victims and journalists. Okay? Hey God, this thing dey sweet me. How come I not see these things since? Accusing people of taking money while the bodies pile up is obscene. The moral obligation here is to face the facts. Let me be crystal clear about the killers you refuse to name. Boko Haram and its splinter IS-aligned factions are jihadi militias that have long pursued a program of religiosized violence across Nigeria and the Lake Chad Basin, deliberately targeting civilians and institutions of pluralist life. Their doctrine rejects pluralism and constitutional order and replaces it with violent theocracy. The analytical record on their objectives, tactics, and ideology is extensive. Yes, there are different strands inside global Islamist thought. Some movements pursue political Islam through institutions and discourse, while others have mutated into violent jihadism that practices mass murder. When violent actors borrow the language of religious duty, when they turn preaching into enforcement and murder, they follow a trajectory of radicalization that draws on, distorts, and weaponizes parts of Islamist vocabulary. The distortion is real, it kills, and it must be called by its name and not whitewashed with rhetoric about foreign agendas. Your defense of national image over human life is indefensible. If you care for Nigeria's dignity, then tell your government to protect its citizens and to allow independent investigators, humanitarian access, and accountability. Deny the crimes at your peril. Defend your people by confronting the killers and the networks that enable them. Silence and smear only help those who want to erase victims. If your aim was to score cheap points, you have one final chance to act with integrity. Withdraw these mendacious posts, acknowledge the victims, and work toward the one thing that actually helps, which is pressure for protection, humanitarian corridors, and genuine investigation. Speak for truth or be remembered for defending lies. Oh, cha. My head won't blow. My head. What? This has been going on. I don't see this week. Geogene, I not sleep. Oh, my brother, the thing just shut down on its own. I don't know. The thing just went off. I say, wetin dey happen? Mid video. So I had to come back because I need to tidy this up before I shut down. Omo, you never finish, oh. You never finish, oh. Yeah? Bashir can't respond again. I don't know that I know Bashir. Oh. Bashir na Boko Haram apologist. Bashir can't say, wait, no, I read wetin Bashir talk. Nobody is defending or shielding Boko Haram or any of their splinter branches here. I'm mad. They are all terrorists, plain and simple. These groups have nothing to do with Islam or faith. They are enemies of humanity. We have lived through their brutality, seen the devastation firsthand, and we wholeheartedly condemn their terrorism in every form. Na lie o. When Deborah, they kpai Deborah, this man support am. If you actually care to check the data before making your misguided assumptions and claims, you would realize that Boko Haram has spied more Muslims than any other group in Nigeria. They've bombed mosques more than any place of worship, destroyed schools and entire communities made up of Muslims. Their ideology is not Islamic, it's nihilistic, and criminal. So no, I'm not gaslighting you or anyone. I'm simply stating the facts and debunking lies that are being weaponized for personal and political gains. Nigeria is far bigger and more complex than the shallow propaganda being peddled to score cheap points. Hey, this guy, more they go wear cloth for now. Mona, not worry. And since you claim to care so much about humanity, let's see your energy on Sudan. You dey hear fool? Where the war, they talk about the country. This man, they mention another country where the war has killed thousands of innocent people and displaced millions. Can you also tell us the cause of the war? Why the selective outrage? Why the silence on Sudan? If you truly care about human life, then let's see where you ever voice your concerns about Sudan. Una dey hear something? Nigeria will continue to fight terrorism, protect its citizens, and expose hypocrisy behind these externally funded narratives. Can you imagine this fool? The guy responds, nobody questioned Nigerians' pain. What I question is the silence around it. A nation cannot defeat terrorism by pretending its victims are exaggerated or its killers disconnected from ideology. Boko Haram emerged from decades of organized radical preaching and networks that fed off the same ideological current the Muslim Brotherhood globalized political Islam weaponized into conquest. Yes, Boko Haram killed Muslims because they kill anyone who refuses their control. That is the essence of extremist theology, submission or death. Christians, Muslims, teachers, and children all became targets. Denying the ideological roots of that violence only allows it to adapt, rename itself, and survive. The link between doctrine and destruction isn't a theory. Boko Haram's founding leader, Mohammed Yusuf, was inspired for Sayyid Qutb's writings. The same intellectual foundation that shaped the Muslim Brotherhood's political ideology, is documented in multiple academic and intelligence studies. When the world ignores that chain of transmission, new versions of Boko Haram will keep being born under new flags and slogans. As for Sudan, I have written, documented, and spoken repeatedly about Sudan's suffering, from Port Sudan to El Fasher, including the humanitarian operations the UAE has led to deliver food, medicine, and shelter. Selective outrage does not exist on my end. Silence and deflection, hey, the guy clock am, exists on yours. You say Nigeria will fight terrorism, then fight it fully. Fight its roots, its founders, its teachers, and its ideology. Fight those who glorify violence in the name of purity, and fight the blindness that calls every criticism propaganda, because nations do not collapse from criticism, they collapse from denial. Hey, the man clock am, see punches, abeg. Hey, the guy respond again. Bashir respond though, the terrorist sympathizer respond. He say, good to see you. Good to see that you are now beginning to understand my outrage and the reasons I called you out initially. No one, absolutely no one, is denying that Nigeria has been facing challenges. But if you dig deeper, you will also see the external factors and influences that have played major roles in fueling this crisis and sustaining the violence for over a decade. We don't share the same ideology as Boko Haram. From the very moment they emerged, we knew their path was not the teaching of Islam. So what I and many others refuse to accept is the attempt to change the entire narrative of our collective pain. After all that we went through, it is deeply hurtful to see outsiders see manipulation in full glare, to see outsiders trying to twist the story as if Muslims are the ones carrying out some grand campaign against Christians. For what reason exactly? I'm a Muslim from Kano and I speak from painful personal experience. Boko Haram's largest attack happened in Kano in 2014 at the Kano Central Mosque, and I lost relatives and friends that day. I've seen the destruction with my own eyes. So when people who were never here start reshaping the narrative, portraying it as Muslim killing Christians, do you expect me to stay silent? No, I won't. Let's call it what it is: terrorism, not religion. These terrorists have killed both Christians and Muslims, men, women, and children. Like I said earlier, if you go through the statistics of the last 10 years, you'll find that more Muslims have been killed than any other group. That is why I insist this is not about Islam versus Christianity. It's about humanity versus evil. I will stand with anyone who genuinely wants to lend their voice against Boko Haram's killings, banditry, or any form of violence that takes innocent lives, but I'll never allow that fight to be used as a tool to create religious division or promote a false idea of systematic persecution. The guy respond to Ram again. Bashir. I'm just exaggerating now. But basically, the guy said, Bashir, I understand the pain you speak from, and I respect the loss your community has endured, but honesty demands clarity. The world is not accusing every Muslim of violence. The world is pointing at the ideology that turned faith into warfare and scripture into a weapon. Boko Haram was born from decades of organized radical preaching from the same ideological current that gave rise to movements which use religion for political domination. That current existed long before the first gunshot in Borno or Kano. Yes, Muslims have died. Yes, Christians have died. That is the tragedy of fanaticism. When it devours its own believers, the point is not who died. The point is why it continues. It continues because too many defend identity before confronting ideology. Boko Haram and its affiliates quote the same thinkers that shaped the political Islamism of the 20th century. Their leaders studied Sayyid Qutb and Abul Ala Maududi, if I'm saying that wrong, Mona, and turned those ideas into commands. They replaced worship with enforcement and called it purity. When I speak of ideology, I do not attack faith. I defend it from those who hijacked it. The victims of Boko Haram, whether in Kano or Maiduguri or Jos, are victims of the same lie. A lie that tells men they serve God by killing his creation. My call is simple. Name the ideology, track its roots, cut its funding, protect your people by facing the truth of where the sickness began. That is honesty. Bashir responds, Ahmad, that is exactly why your post yesterday, which now has almost 100k views, the penam, was so deeply hurtful to read. In it, you wrote in emotional language that Christian families are being slaughtered in their homes, churches are reduced to ashes, and children are executed for their prayers. That is the truth. Guy, you were rejoicing that Deborah was roasted alive. You people are terrorist sympathizers. Now you are crying. So it is paining you that the man is standing for the truth. See, Muslim against Muslim, do you realize what that kind of framing does? It amplifies a dangerous propaganda that we have been trying for years to debunk. The false idea that this is a war of Muslims against Christians. By highlighting only one side of the suffering, you unintentionally erase the pain of thousands of Muslim victims. Why not talk? Why are you people not holding spaces? Why are you people not shouting like every other person has been shouting? By highlighting, you intentionally erasing the pain of thousands of Muslim victims who have suffered double brutality from these same terrorists. You talk about honesty, and I completely agree with you. Honesty demands balance, fairness, and full acknowledgement of the truth. The truth is that Boko Haram and its affiliates have killed both Christians and Muslims, and if we have been factual, the data shows that Muslims have been their primary victims. Entire Muslim villages have been wiped out. Imams have been executed in front of their congregation. Quranic schools have been bombed and mosques reduced to rubble. These are not abstract numbers, they're real human lives. Our neighbors, our relatives, our friends. Yet in your post, there wasn't a single mention of them. No recognition of the Muslim in Kano, Maduguri, Yobe, or Borno who have suffered unimaginable losses. The omission is what hurts the most. It makes it seem as though Muslim pain doesn't count, as though our dead are invisible, as though our tears are less worthy of global empathy. If your call is truly for honesty, then that honesty must cut across all lines. It must name every victim regardless of faith. It must recognize that Boko Haram's ideology has destroyed both mosques and churches Muslims, but Muslims and Christians, but faith and humanity. So I ask you sincerely, have you ever made a post with the same passion and global rage, calling the world's attention to the atrocities committed against Nigerian Muslims? I am not here to deny the suffering of anyone, but to ensure that the truth of our collective tragedy is not turned into a tool of division. Sokwe I be actress. Eh? So Bashir get fire like this. Bashir get fire like this. See Bashir they cry on that tweet of political analysts when be Muslim, when give them the religion na them. Na there they go hit their head for ground. Eh? Let me read some of the comments. Oh, Coco Bioko, how did I miss this sweet tweet? Oh, see gist na. Bashir Ahmed will never agree that Boko Haram, ISIS, ISWAP, Fulani headsmen, Lukur, Urawa, Wolo Wolo, this is the new one, are Islamic terrorists because they read from the same source of Sayyid Qutb, Ibn Taymiyyah, Muhammad Ibn Abd al-Wahhab, and their other founding fathers of radicalism. Another person respond, the tragedy of this excuse from this self-declared terrorist is that he was key member of Buhari government for 8 years. Only thing on record they did about terrorism is to forgive and integrate them into the army. He had 0% concern for his fellow Muslim victims. Another comment says, Christian families are being slaughtered in their homes, churches are reduced to ashes, and children are executed for their prayers. Nobody needs to frame what is accurate. Is the statement true or false? Another person responds, this Bashir Ahmed is a terrorist. No one can refute that. See how he used emotional psychology. I'm telling you, emotional blackmail to make Ahmad reduce his exposition of the sufferings of Nigerians in Nigeria, Christians in Nigeria. If his own community has suffered same lot, would it not be logical that he joins to expose it too? Another person says, Mr. Bashir Ahmed is a terrorist apologist. You don't need to go far. Just check his tweets of supporting deaths on the allegations of blasphemy. He's a very dishonest fellow and doesn't care about humanity. He has bottom barrel personality. See as the guy use emotional. See, he dey cry, say na Muslim dey defend Christian. He dey cry. He be like, make the guy break. I just imagine am now fall for ground, dey throw tantrum. He not believe, say another Christian, they fit talk against the unalivings of Christians. See, he went back and forth with this guy. His last emotional rant, the guy never even bothered to respond. High Chief says he is one of those who glorifies violence in the name of purity. This is his regular trademark. Stop wasting your time on trying to convince him because it will not work. Somebody says, Ahmed, please leave Bashir alone. He confirmed and confessed extremists. The Buhari government he served killed over 500 Shiites in a day. Bashir still defends that till date. He's a terrorist enabler and conspirator. Somebody asked him, was Deborah not innocent? What was your take on the incident that took her life? Exactly. You glorify violence in the name of purity. Same ideology as Boko Haram. Oh my God. Hey. Oh, must see wetin I for me, so I beg make I save this thing. Oh, this thing is going to this thing sweet me, man. Wow, it was so lovely to read this. Oh my God. Wow, my people. A proud jihadist must protect his field agents, bandits, and Boko Haram. People were sharing his old tweets with the guy from UAE. They share am. They say, see the terrorists, the extremists, when you dey debate with. See, It's an honor to be called an Islamic extremist. I can't pretend or keep silent. I support the death penalty for blasphemy. That's my belief, and I do not and will never. God, can you imagine? Performative religiosity. Eh? Now, wow, these people are dangerous. We are living amongst dangerous people. God, I beg. See as they defend rubbish. The man came out with facts, calling and naming and shaming the people that have been buying Christians. Instead of him to come out and say it's true, oh, we are tired, oh, we need help, oh. Ha! God forbid. Omo. They don't share the man. I should say the guy go say, hey, Nigeria, oh, Nigerians, which kind Muslims una get for una country? So, una welcome again, oh. Hi, short. Joe, hi from Iceland. Wow. Oh, okay. Joe from Iceland, greetings. Lona Willow, welcome. Oh. I truly dislike people who uplift their useless faith or religion that just being human. Is it Christians or traditionalists who are unaliving people? I'm telling you. See the guy, they cry. If the Islamist extremists are the ones terrorizing everyone, Oga Mumu, Muslim, say it as it is. The guy was crying. Hey, story. I'm telling you, Ogu will buy all of them and they are useless. They can't buy Christians, Africans and Africans alone. Why they no go Gaza go dey kpai Oyibo? People wey dey there just useless people. I'm telling you, it's wild. Look at him crying under the guy's comment. A Muslim speaking the truth. They call out the people. Me, I want. Shebi they say Middle East say they get list. Now Dubai abi who get list of the people when they sponsor terrorism. They should release it again. I think that thing is even circulating. That name of that, the people on those lists, their names are actually circulating. Imagine, oh, this is what we are dealing with in Nigeria. Can you imagine? You are living in the midst of enemies. God, I beg. Imagine this guy and his mindset. Imagine. Ha! Now, wow. This Bishop Cooker, this man is not a Christian. I'm sorry. This man, anyway, most of them not even they believe in wetin that they do. Now business for them. With a tight collar when you put for neck. All of them they deny. Muslim don't come out now, floor all of. I just say they go see that comment, they go they cry. All of them go start to they cry. I dey tell una say APC dey shake. The only thing when do una get leeway in now because APC is afraid. Is severely afraid. With everything where they go on now, this man don't come out talk. American they put leg for their neck. This is the time opposition should make sure they get their freaking act together and blow APC away 2027. The people also have to unify. I'm telling you, guys, they have to unify you. See, they give interview up and down. Christians, they are giving interviews up and down. See, Fox News carry the thing for head, though. Like I better, hey, like hot bread. They hawk am. See, APC, no wonder they are mad. Kai. This is wild. I'm telling you, oh, I know, I've seen it. I know, I absolutely know. I don't see their comments before. I know, my brother, I know, I've seen it. I'm not even bother. Now my own focus now, how we want to Nigeria, we need to get the right type of leader for that country so that we go know what we dey do. Anyway, on that note, make I leave una. I don't do today on comot. I go see you again on my next one. Michael, thank you so much. Oh, I really appreciate. I really, really appreciate. You try for me well. They will say as long as their cows and people herding cows are being pied, then we deserve to. I'm telling you, it's crazy. Well, we thank God, sha. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you all of una when come. Ga and Walele, sorry oh, the thing come. I don't know. Kiogene, sorry oh. Na mo na no verse earlier. I don't know wetin happen. Thing just shut down on itself. But I go talk to una again, sha. We move. Aluta continua. We must get that country back. You no get wetin dem wan tell us. Thank you very much. I appreciate you all. We go jam again now. EB, thank you. I appreciate. Sorry, oh, the thing crash on me. I don't know wetin happen. Mona get good night too. Now, when I don't wake up, Mona good morning. Oh, thank you very much, EB. You too. I appreciate. Thank you. All right, guys. See you on my next one. Bye.